To say that 2019 has been a mixed bag for Pixel phones is a bit of an understatement. The Pixel 3a phones are an absolute delight, serving up powerful camera tech and a solid stock Android experience for a price that actually won't have you eating spam and beans for the next 12 months. But then came the pricey flagships, the Pixel 4 and the Pixel 4 XL, and to put it bluntly, they were more disappointing than a wet weekend in Windermere. But no worries, I'm sure that the mighty G will put smiles back on everyone's faces with the upcoming Pixel 4a and Pixel 4a XL smartphones, which aren't actually guaranteed to be a thing, but come on, Google would have to be nuttier than a squirrel's first morning dump not to do them. But the question is, what can we expect from the Pixel 4a handsets, and what do they need to do to win back our hearts? Well, let's take a look. And for more on the latest greatest tech, please do plug subscribe and ding that notifications bell. Cheers! Now first up, it's pretty much guaranteed that the Pixel 4 handsets will come as a pair in two different sizes. Not exactly much of a stretch of the imagination, as that's what Google has done with every other Pixel launch so far. The standard Pixel 4a of course should sport that usual compact form factor, which in a world inundated with supersized smartphones should be lovely and refreshing. And also of course you'll get the usual obligatory XL version for anyone who demands a 6-inch plus display for media, gaming and whatnot, and this should come with other benefits as well, such as a bigger battery. And while we're stroking that particularly hairy little subject, yes, the battery life was the most tragic part of the Pixel 4 smartphones. It was dire. It was less than dire. These phones had a shorter lifespan than the average nameless Game of Thrones character. Even with a full charge in the tank as you sprang out of bed in the morning, you'd be plugging the bastards in before you even got on your evening commute home. And unfortunately there's not one obvious answer to why the Pixel 4's battery life was so bad. I mean, yes, it had a small capacity cell, but other phones have had small batteries as well. Just look at Sony's Xperia compact smartphones have still lasted the day quite happily. Of course, there was a lot of energy sapping tech crammed into Google's phones, including that motion sense sonar feature which could tell when you were reaching for it, and added gesture recognition for a handful of apps as well. It certainly works quite well, but it was far from an essential feature admittedly. And likewise, the 90Hz screen meant silky smooth navigation and was great when blasting through supported games, but it also contributed a bit to that power drain. Of course, all of this high-tech shenanigans should be culled for the Pixel 4a and Pixel 4a XL smartphones anyway, as they're cheaper, so it'll be a cost-cutting measure. But regardless of that anyway, I found that going into the Pixel 4 setting menu and killing the likes of the motion sense and the 90Hz refresh rate didn't really help the battery life that much. It still didn't last until bedtime. So what could the Pixel 4a phones actually do to overcome this problem? Well, as these were more affordable phones, they will be using less powerful platforms. The Pixel 3a used the Snapdragon 670 chipset, but I'd hope that the Pixel 4a could maybe upgrade that to a 7 series Snapdragon like the 730G for instance, which proves more dependable for gaming with its boosted GPU and its faster download speeds. But whatever Google goes with, those more mid-range Qualcomm Snapdragon chipsets tend to be a lot more energy efficient than the flagship models, so that should really help out with the power drain. And I'm also expecting a fair few tweaks in Android's back end as well to sort out any issues with apps draining juice surreptitiously. As far as the Pixel 4's design goes, I have no real complaints there. I'd be happy to see the Pixel 4a sport a similar style finish. It's a shame that it only came in 3 different colours and the black is rather dull admittedly, but I'm guessing that Google will stick with this selection of hues for the Pixel 4a. It's proved nice and resistant to scratches and scuffs and all that kind of stuff. Still no chips or other little marks even after sort of a month or two of use, so that's definitely reassuring. Of course, the water resistance of the Pixel 4 will be culled for the cheaper Pixel 4a's again as a cost-cutting measure. Quite a few people did take against that chunky new design, but I actually quite liked the new look. It's distinctive without looking toy-like, something that Apple couldn't quite manage with its new iPhones. And last year's Pixel 3a handset spotted OLED displays, and here's hoping that Google sticks with that technology, especially as OLED is quite energy efficient compared with IPS. You can expect Full HD Plus resolutions on both models, including that XL model, no Quad HD fanciness, but I reckon the visuals will be crisp and colourful and punchy and gorgeous anyway, just as they were on last year's efforts. And if you once again get a stereo speaker setup and a headphone jack, just like you did on the Pixel 3a handsets, I will be a very happy bunny indeed. One of the other big issues with the Pixel 4 phones was the way that they ditched the fingerprint sensor and relied instead on Google's new face recognition, which was rather poo. Not only was it not particularly secure with limited customization options as well, but it also completely broke for me after just a few days, leaving me with nothing but pin entry as an option. So please, pretty please Google, with a massive amount of sugar on top, bring back the physical fingerprint sensor for the Pixel 4a handsets, I'm begging you. And then of course there's the camera tech, which by itself was the major selling point of last year's Pixel 3a devices. You simply could not find a better smartphone snapper at that sort of price point. I'm really hoping that Google once again brings brings the flagship camera tech to the more affordable Pixel 4a handsets. No doubt we'll lose the visual core again, but I'll happily wait a wee bit longer for the processing side of things if it means those incredible HDR photos are possible on a mid-range mobile. And here's hoping that the secondary lens with that optical zoom makes a return as well, because this really helped out with distant subjects, while the likes of the night mode, the portrait mode and all of those other bonus bits should also be back in action. And last, of course, the big question is, when will we actually see the Pixel 4a handsets and how much will they cost? Well, if they do happen, and I really hope that they do, the ideal platform seems to be Google's big I/O developer conference, which should hit around sort of May 2020 time. It hasn't been confirmed just yet, but that's the sort of time they usually do it every year. And as far as the price goes, well, you can expect it to basically cost the same as the Pixel 3a handset. So Pixel 4a should start at around 400 quid, and it should be under 500 for the XL model. So that in a nutshell is what you can expect from Google for the Pixel 4a and the Pixel 4a XL, and a little bit of what I'm hoping and wishing and praying for as well. But what are your personal wish list wants for the Pixel 4a handsets? Definitely let us know in the comments down below. And if you are not excited, why not? Definitely be great to hear exactly what you're thinking in that lovely little head of yours. And don't forget to poke, subscribe and ding that notifications bell for more on the latest and greatest tech. Cheers everyone, love you!